All right. Well, we are live. Welcome to the Arkansas Organic Chronicles podcast, everyone, where we discuss anything, everything, and all things related to certified organic food right here in Arkansas. I'm Joe Hannon, production instructor at Calf Farm School, and with me today is Karen Maldonado. You may know her from the Fayetteville Farmers Market. You may know her as a former farm school student, incubator here at CAF, and also on the top program. We're just getting started on the top program.
I know, very exciting.
It
very
is.
exciting.
So glad you're on the show today.
I'm glad to be here. Very exciting. Fun.
So what's new? What's shaking in your world?
A lot of planting, a lot of seeding, and a lot of changing right now for fall planting. So there's lots going on at the farm right now.
You're a busy person, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Farming and
selling at farmers market, helping other vendors. I still translate because that's something that I do for a living. And now the farm. So just lots of things going on.
And you're doing some farm to dinner events type stuff too, right?
Yes, those are going to be coming up now in the fall, which is very exciting. It's my first collaborations. I took a food business cohort program at Market Center of the Ozarks. And with that in mind, I met other food entrepreneurs. So we're actually going to be pairing up and doing some dinners coming up in the next few months. So that's even more exciting.
That is so cool.
Because we'll be able to use some of the produce that we're growing here, some of the produce my friends and our other farmers are growing, so it will be all local, including the meat. So that's just very exciting to promote, not just us, but everybody else in the community, and just build more community.
It's so great to see you getting your feet on the ground and like full hog jumping into this thing.
I think it's thanks to support like yours and the knowledge that I got here, Heather, the team, and everybody's just really just helpful and always just giving more information, connecting you with resources. So I think that would have not happened if my journey at CAP would have never started. So
cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, I've got two topics I want to discuss with you today.
Okay.
Are you ready to get into the meat and potatoes?
Let's do it.
Awesome. All right. So everybody, I've got two topics. Keeping summer crops alive. We're in August. It's hot. It's weedy, as you're going to hear Karen talk about or complain about, or a little bit of A and B.
About weeds. It's all about the weeds here.
Yes. And then we're going to talk a little bit about getting our early fall planted crops established as well, and how do we do that in Arkansas heat.
So. Yes. And how do you get that mentality to actually even think about the fact that you need to be planting your fall crops and thinking about those in the middle of this miserable summer? So.
When it's 100 degrees outside.
Yes. Yeah. It's really hard to wrap your brain around that one.
All right. Well, before we come into that, let's focus on the here and now. So you want to start about what's good, what's bad about your first year of farming?
Well, I think the biggest challenges are obviously getting your timing, the timing for your succession planting in particular. I've noticed that I just always start seeds way ahead of the game, even though I always thought that seeds needed a long time for germination. And of course, in some crops, that's the case, but I ended up, I think, wasting a lot of seeds, especially because I planted too ahead and it was not the right time. So I think that's the biggest challenge for me first year has been that. And of course, that you just don't know these weeds have a life of their own. It's not like, just little weeds here. These weeds, when you need a machete to cut them down, it's not longer a weed. So it's just, that's the biggest challenge too.
Yeah, that's been a challenge for everybody this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from the community and all farmers that they've never seen the kind of weed pressure that they've seen this year. So, yeah.
So let's talk about keeping the summer crops alive. What are some strategies that either you use here at CAF or that you've used? I know what some of the other farms you've worked on.
Well, I think I came in obviously not wanting to use certain plastic culture, but I realized that I needed to make completely different decisions since I'm a one-woman show over here. There's only so much time you can spend on these weeds. So with that in mind, I think the biggest benefit, obviously, of the plastic culture has been that it really helps me sustain some of that moisture, especially on the peppers that love their water. They're soaking it all the time. So I think that's been the key, that irrigation drip and the plastic culture holding all that moisture in, I think has been obviously the biggest life changers. Otherwise, water just evaporates too fast in this heat. So.
Yeah, it does. And, I think you mentioned irrigation, and you've had a little bit of a struggle bus with irrigation this year, probably like every other farmer. Like it's not just you.
Yeah,
So.
I think especially because it's the first year, so getting that coming out from from the beginning, setting up the irrigation to start off, yeah, that's been the biggest challenge.
Yeah,
stuff keeps exploding every single time. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of pressure. Obviously, water pressure. Not everybody can say the same thing. But that at the same time, that has its other counterproductive things that you gotta work around. So.
It's been quiet all day, and now they just start construction across the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think from an irrigation standpoint, now's the time to be thinking about what's not working and what are you going to need to replace for next year. And we had a little bit of this conversation yesterday, I think. Just a couple little tweaks that we need to do to secure your irrigation system to make it more resilient under these high temp, high heat conditions. Like it's never going to break in April or May, right? It always breaks in
exactly when you need it.
Yeah,
the most.
July, August, when you're like, I have 5 hours to get this fixed before my plants die. Like, yeah.
At the same time, it's just good to know that there's different ways that we can pivot and change fittings and couplers and things. So it's not just one way of doing it, and I think that's a part that it's very helpful. And hopefully Joe over here will help me fix that.
Yeah, we might need to go to Lowe's. I tried to part shop for you yesterday online, and that didn't work. But I think yours is like a $20 fix. Like it's cheap.
Sweet.
It's just
See?
Yeah. Okay, so I think one of the other things you have been talking about with your irrigation system is you're wanting to add fertilizer injector into your system, right?
And that's something that I haven't seen, honestly, in all the farms that I've been working around here. I've never seen, apart from obviously Ryan O'Neill that has his own super set of injectors. I haven't seen injector fertilization in any of the farms that I worked at.
Yeah.
So nobody's doing it that way. I think it will be more efficient, more cost effective also. And I think it will help out a whole lot better. I do obviously do the side dressing with granular, but I think I noticed Fish Emulsion, especially when I was starting my transplant. So I noticed a difference that Fish Emulsion really just got some of those plants going when they were not looking so happy. So it makes a huge difference.
But I don't know, like as soon as you run Fish Emulsion through like your drip system though, and like Ryan complains about this all the time, like it plugs the filters, it plugs the emitters and all that. So like you don't see a ton of it, I think, in the organic world because you had a lot of fish and kelp products which just are not. They're just notorious for having issues with your drip system, kind of mucking things up. But they're also, I think, like 3 times more expensive when I was looking at Fish Emulsion versus like a conventional blooming type product. It was 3 times more. And then it's just really hard to put the same amount on via side dress versus or via side dress in the organic world versus the conventional world.
Yeah.
So you still have to be really on your game with your pre-plant products.
Of course. And I can see, and I think obviously somebody that has a smaller piece of land like I do can afford to do more Fish Emulsion than somebody that obviously is doing a bigger production. I mean, you got to weigh out the cost and the benefits depending on your size of your production. Yeah.
When you're super small, like a lot of us are, $2 versus $6 is kind of negligible.
Correct.
So you got to keep that in a little bit of reality.
Yeah.
So we were talking about a couple products the other day, and I had mentioned Blackstrap Molasses as a product. Did you have a chance to look that one up, or have you heard of molasses products being used?
I've never heard of any of the farmers here using any Blackstrap Molasses or any other farmers that I know on Puerto Rico, where I'm from. Obviously, that I have a lot of friends and relatives over there that are growing, and nobody's using that kind of type of. Most people use
fish, kelp.
No, like chicken byproducts. Like chicken meal, feather meal, and all those things. So, but none of them are using so much these kinds. Only I've seen obviously a lot of more Fish Emulsion and kelp than anything else.
Yeah, I think the Blackstrap Molasses product just kind of caught me because it was much more representative of like a broad spectrum product for that summer care. It had the macronutrients, it had some micronutrients, and then it also had just some plain old sugars to feed the microorganisms in your soil, which should help further uptake of plant nutrition.
And I
things
think
like
that makes sense because it's really good for us also.
Yeah.
So it has all those other benefits. So it makes sense that it's going to be great
Yeah,
and
I've
more natural. So
never used it, so word of caution, like I haven't used it. I just have like, oh,
I think
here's some
maybe
new
we need to
products.
experiment here.
I think so. I think it would be less prone to locking up your drip emitters and your
dripping.
filters, like because that molasses should be water soluble, so just run more water through it,
Yeah.
thin it down.
See, you just gave me a thought because I think that would be great to experiment on, since I have the 2 plots divided, we can experiment on one side of the plot with the fish emulsion, the other side of the plot with the black char molasses.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that's a
just kind
thought.
of see it a little bit.
Yeah, and see what kind of effect we see. I mean, plant kind of like the same thing, just to
Mhm.
see if the production also is different.
I'd add a third one there. Is I'd like to look more at like the fulvic acid type products, which I don't think either one of us has much experience there. And
No, only for humans I've heard about all the natural benefits, but not thought about it in plants. But it makes sense. Again, it comes from the earth, so it should be more.
and it's designed more with that typical or more like that real organic system in mind. Like we're feeding the soil, we're feeding the microorganisms. They're releasing the nutrients for the plants, assuming that we have enough in the soil. And so I think there's some real room there to be kind of a benefit as well. It's not marketed and sold as a fertilizer, but it's marketed and sold as kind of having that same or similar value as you support your biological diversity.
And I think also, any organic, grower is looking for more options, and having more, different things that they can test and not be limited to certain products. So I think it's a benefit to just trying some of these also.
I think so. It'd be nice to try out some more of them. I think the cost-wise, they're all about the same. It's really just about not plugging the emitter.
Correct. Just helping those emitters because there's only how many filters you can use.
Oh, yeah. And you can't be changing it every day.
No, you can't. You don't have time for that.
Yes. Okay, so walking around your field under the heat stress here, because you've been without irrigation for a couple days because you've had some issues.
Yeah, I have.
So we pulled up a dead plant yesterday. You want to describe what we saw when we pulled up that dead plant?
Oh, absolutely. Those roots were basically non-existent. So the plant had not had a chance to grow or develop any roots. So it made sense that as soon as we just pull it out the ground, it was just crumbling right there on it. So, I thought at the beginning, since sometimes you don't have experience and all the plants look great and you only have like 1 or 2 here and there, you're like, oh, maybe a disease got it. But no, it was just as simple as that. It just never developed roots, didn't go in. Maybe the soil, because of the dryness, was compacted and just did not get to grow those roots.
Well, we were really wet this spring, so there was no reason for those roots to grow and force themselves down either.
They were being lazy.
They were definitely being lazy, and I think...
And that's something that I did not consider. See? Is that something that you think, oh, there's so much water, my beds are just great for them, and you just don't think that it's like, oh, wait, they were not forced to get going.
They weren't forced to get going. And then I don't know, did you broad fork your field?
No, I did not.
Okay. I don't think we deep tilled or anything in that field. So we were at kind of, here at CAF, we have a hard pan 8 inches down, and oftentimes 6 to 8 inches down. That's where our root zones.
Yeah, and since this plot that I'm growing in is the first time that's getting grown like this, for crops, obviously,
That's the first year time it's been tilled in like 30 years.
So it's going to be definitely.
Yeah. But it definitely
more work to be done for next time and stuff that I need to consider, obviously.
Yeah. And there's a lot of value for promoting that deep root growth. And part of that is managing irrigation when you can in the springtime, but also broad forking, deep tilling, something to allow that ground to break through.
See, and just saying enough, I just didn't think about it with peppers because since I was digging anyway, my hole is just so deep for them. It's like I thought that would be more than enough to get them going. I immediately just think of forking for my carrots and things like that. I honestly did not think that the peppers will need that kind of extra help. So you live and learn. So something else that needs to be learned for next year.
Oh, don't worry, we're not going to broad fork. We'll figure it out some. I don't broad fork. I don't broad fork.
No. I did it just for the carrots. It's just find a different method. I jump on that thing and I don't weigh enough to get it going.
I don't even like to carry the broad fork and be seen handling it. That's just not for me.
I like your style. Let's do that.
I am the epiphany of lazy.
Hey, I like that. I don't call it lazy. I call it being a more efficient farmer. Work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
So no shade cloth for you this year, but you have used some Remake for like a shade cloth type material before, right?
Yeah, so there's in different other farms that I work that use some of the really thin,
Like a real light stuff.
the really light stuff of the cover crops, the crops, to use it. They left it there literally until those plants are almost busting out of it, and then they take it off. It's served for the purposes, obviously, of the shade, or the purposes of actually of the pest.
Yeah, a little bit of insect management.
Yeah, quite a bit of insect management actually. I've seen like beautiful summer squashes being grown with no spray of no kind, no dipping of anything. I mean, it's pretty impressive, you know, and it's been just with that thin.
Yeah.
I did use insect netting obviously early in the year, but some of these farmers don't even use the insect netting. They just use that very thin one just so they can reuse that for, frost buff.
One product to have on hand.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was surprised. I thought for sure that stuff will cook your plants.
I thought so too, but I guess if it's light enough, it does breathe enough during the day that.
Yeah, and since our sun gets so intense, I guess that white, helps reflect and really just keeps those plants pretty healthy.
Yeah,
so
I would love to have some like actual temps between under there versus like shade cloth versus like outdoors. Because
you know what, I'm gonna have to do that next time I'm over there at that farm. So
get some measurements.
Get some measurements, see what happens too. Because I'm actually thinking of using some of that and tenting it over here when I plant my brassicas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to do some with just the shade cloth and then try some with a very thin one and see if we see a difference.
Really wise with how much cabbage moth problems we have come fall time and cabbage butterfly problems in the fall. Like this year it's been low, but that does not mean this fall is gonna be low.
Oh, absolutely not. The pest pressure this year, everybody says also it's been really aggressive.
Yeah.
So,
I think we've just been lucky here.
Yeah, on this chunk maybe.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to go very far. Like you don't have to go very far and it's not much worse.
No, definitely. That's for sure.
Well, I don't know that they can see it on the camera behind us, but we run shade cloth here. I don't know. Normally I say 30 to 40% shade cloth, but I feel like ours that we've got on our tunnels is a lot more because it's really dark in there.
It's really dark. That's definitely not a 30.
That's got to be more a 60 or 70.
Yeah, that's super dark.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that here before. That dark.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an accidental, got the
maybe.
wrong stuff or what.
It looks like it, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, you get that dark, you start to get like tall and lanky and stretched out. And
that's one thing I noticed. It's like, if you do that, then it's just not going to be as strong. You have to really balance that shade cloth.
And that's that 30 to 40% kind of maintains that balance of like plant bigger, but also like enough sunlight to ripen the crop and not get this tall, lanky plant.
No, and give them a rest because the summer is going to get progressively hotter. So that's stuff that we need to consider too. Yeah. Some crops might not need them now, but might need them in a few years.
And, leave that shade cloth on until at this point, like middle of September.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Our summer here is super hot until then. So
no point in taking it off until like you're done.
No.
We start getting a break. So talking about getting a break and going into fall and September and stuff. Let's move on to our fall crop production.
Okay.
What are you going to grow this fall out at your farm?
I love brassicas, and by that I don't mean the kale. I love...
Good, thank you.
We're so overdone with kale. I'm sorry. For all of you that love it, don't hate me, but I'm just so over it. So I am a lover of all the different cabbages. So I'm going to grow like 4 different kinds, a couple different colors, a Savoy cabbage, purples. I'm gonna grow cauliflower, a couple kinds, and they're both whites because I was testing them in spring, and I'm gonna test them again in fall to see of the different cultivars which one actually grows a little bit better. And I had one of them that's completely stained by the sun in the summer, while the other one, the leaves just wrapped up naturally, so it stayed perfectly crisp white.
That's what you want.
And that's what people love because one customer was like, well, that's dirty. And I'm like, no, it's not dirty.
It wasn't. It was tasty, though. I'll tell you that.
Yes, exactly. But, they want what they want. And that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to test them out to see how they produce in the fall versus how they produce the same in the spring, just to see which one actually grows faster, better.
Yeah.
Some broccoli. I'm excited to grow some bok choy. I've never really grown bok choy myself.
Bok choy is so fantastic here. Are you going the mini bok choy or you're going the full size?
I think these are full size because I have two. I have a purple one that looks really cool, really
Nice.
dark, and then just a regular green one. But
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a small one, if it's a full size one. To be honest, I have to go back and look at it.
I grow a lot of the minis, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll do like a trio of minis.
Oh, a trio. Oh, I'm gonna have to check that.
Yeah,
So,
it just packs out pretty.
they just look super good. I mean, and obviously I love Asian cuisine and everybody around here loves it too. So I think it's a good product. It always sells very well for all the other farmers that grow it.
You really can't go wrong with it. Like
No, you can't. So I'm gonna grow some bok choy, a few different radishes types. So I'm excited for those because I'm pairing up with somebody with her cuisine. She wants a lot of radishes to pickle and do for some of her pop-ups. So and then what else? I have and some winter squashes, obviously, and some carrots. So just kind of classics that taste a little bit better after the frost.
Okay.
Yeah. I just like how they cool off and they taste just so good.
Just get that really sweet flavor.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think maybe a few herbs, maybe a cilantro, just to get a light crop of cilantro and something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But pretty much those.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So a couple things that I think about when starting fall crops, and we'll maybe start with the brassicas. When are you going to start your fall brassicas, and then what does that look like for actually getting to market?
So I am obviously not going to be hitting the big chunk of last market, but for us, our market runs all year round. So, and especially the online. So I'm not so worried about hitting specific dates in market in particular.
Because you're in Fayetteville market as your primary.
Fayetteville market, and our market actually stays open all year round. Plus, also some of the crops that are going to be growing are actually going to be grown for some of the people that are be doing other pop-ups and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly concerned about hitting any specific timelines for the market. I am lucky in that position, obviously, that I don't need to hit first or anything like that. But obviously, I did start them in the greenhouse. I'm gonna say 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, you got them started already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Well, you got them started real early. That was July.
2 weeks. Yeah, some of them I got them at the end of July, and then my last one's my green tiara that sold so well this year. Everybody loved it. That one and the purple cabbage, I just started those a week ago. So 2 weeks and then a week ago.
You have pretty good germination considering the heat.
I did get good germination. The problem has been they keep drying out in the greenhouse. I'm having a problem keeping them alive.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I'm honestly very frustrated in that.
Yeah, because normally it's so hard to get them germinated. You got to go put them in a shady location, then you got to water them a bunch of times a day.
No, I haven't had any problem with germination. I mean, knock on wood, obviously, right here. So the germination has been fantastic, super exciting. Especially the broccoli, the second germination was great. My first germination in spring, not so wonderful. Yeah. I don't know why. Again, obviously temperatures and stuff like that, but it's keeping them alive and perky and stuff because it's just too dry and they just flop flat on their own. But I've been lucky that way. So yes, I think I got them in time germinated, and in time it's just a matter of now seeing when I wait for this heat to subside, or do I plant them in the heat and just cover them? And that's just the part that's going to be
that's kind of a tricky thing. Yeah. Usually I'll wait until we get that break. Like we should get a break, and maybe we just had our break before August.
And that's the problem, that we had all these things change this seasonal here. So I think it's going to be a matter of definitely insect netting and shade cloth, both of them, or trying a thin frost cloth and just trying to really reflect some of the sun out
and get that irrigation.
Yeah, and the irrigation has to be completely fixed before I even bring any of that stuff out here for sure, because the water has to be a whole lot more constant, than before.
Yeah, because now with this heat, those transplants are gonna struggle.
They're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle. They're gonna need a lot of water for sure.
So you said, I think, some carrots and some radishes. What's your plan for when and how are you going to get those seeded out in the field and actually get them to germinate it again in this heat?
So I'm going to try, obviously I'm going to do a nice composting, a nice butt forking, just get that soil great. I am going to So what I've seen on different farms, and then I like to follow a couple of people that I follow on Instagram too for tips. It's like I'm gonna wet that really well, let it sit. The next day I'm gonna come in and throw it and plant, obviously with a jank seeder, and just plant it. And then I'm gonna take a thin frost cloth and I'm gonna wet it and I'm gonna put it over my bed to hold it in, and hopefully that's just gonna help me get that germination going.
Yeah, so. It should. I see that all the time with people using like old potato sacks and things like that.
Yes.
Helps hold moisture in, and then it's easy to pull it off.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So that's gonna be my trial for the radishes and the carrots.
I can foresee some weed issues though, like getting caught in that
absolutely
fabric material though.
Absolutely. But I'm hoping, since I've had the whole field tarp since
it's going where it's been tarp.
It's going where it's been tarp since March. I think I'm gonna have a pretty good chance.
I think you've cooked some stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm in good position there.
I think so.
Hopefully.
All right, so that was your brassicas, your carrots, your radishes. Any other crops that I missed there on your
the bok choy, I haven't started them because they're too early, obviously.
Yeah,
so
and those germinate size up so quick.
Super quickly. So I'm leaving that for like middle of September. I think we cover most of them.
Yeah. Well, we've got tractor scale carrots and beets, a test planting going in this afternoon. The tractor's literally sitting there working the ground.
Well, that's exciting.
It's exciting. We're gonna change things up a little bit though, so we're gonna come through with a cultipacker and like firm up our ground a little bit this time. Yeah, I think
I think the seeds got too loose and lost.
I think so, and like floated away under some of those really heavy rainfalls.
Yeah, you guys planted those.
Yeah, because we planted into pretty loose soil after the field cultivator. And
so after that, what are you gonna do then?
So we'll cultipack it after we field prep it, and then we'll come and plant over it, and then we'll irrigate it in right away. And then I think Ari is going to probably have to come in and irrigate like every day or every other day.
I was going to say.
Is probably my guess.
Probably more like every day if we keep getting this heat that we're having.
And then I'm going to have Ari come through every 2 or 3 times a week with the propane torch until germination and torch any weeds that come up. Because if we're irrigating every day, our fields are weedy. We're going to have issues.
So how big are we going to be planting carrots and beets? Like, in how much big of a space?
The final planting should be about a half acre.
Okay. For both or for each?
Carrots and beets total will be a half acre.
Okay. Wow. Very nice.
Test rows about 50 to 100 foot, give or take.
Well, that's going to be a great experiment. See how it goes.
Well, it's just we got to get everything, the system dialed in. The planter, I'm not super happy with the planter. It needs a little bit of tweaking. So.
Like any other machine at a farm, they all need tweaking.
We pull it out, and there's no directions from said company for setting it up.
Well, with directions, when I planted my carrots in the first trial, I mean, I used a jank seeder, the right settings, and for some reason, it was so tight. And that didn't work. I already lost one bed of carrots. It was just a total fiasco. Yeah, you always have to be tweaking all those settings, anyways.
I think our spacing is okay. I really think it's just our soil is too loose and the seeds are floating away and whatnot. So we'll see. We'll check back in when on our trying to think, what is that? Our September 9th show and give an update on.
Oh, that'll be exciting to hear how that's going.
Yeah, we've got the full planting needs to get planted on the 11th, so we got a couple weeks to try.
Okay.
Dial in the winter.
Oh, very soon. That's coming in fast.
Very soon.
That's coming in fast for sure.
Otherwise, we've got squash out here that's looking pretty good for the fall.
It is looking good.
I'm not sure what the farm crews all got going on in the small scale stuff. I have not had a chance to breathe and catch up.
Well, they're definitely today cleaning up, that's for sure. And then some harvesting green onions. I can see them here.
Yeah, so the students have farm stand tomorrow.
Exactly.
They got one more farm stand, two more farm stands.
Two more farm stands. So come and check them out.
Yes, they are at Agra Park from 11 to 1. Thank you.
Yes, on Wednesdays.
I'm the instructor, but I don't even know.
Actually, no, I already did that 2 years ago.
Fair. So, is there anything else you want to talk about today, Karen?
Well, I'm just going to say that I was just happy to, sharing this space with you and sharing a little bit of what we're doing here at CAF, at the farm incubator, and the struggles that we're all having. If you're all swimming in weeds, don't feel bad. We all are. This year is like nothing before.
Right.
I've never seen this with pressure in the last few years because even though it's my first year on farm incubator, I've been working at other farms in the local area for quite a few years, and there's nothing like it. So We're all in it together.
You say that, and this is like this is what I consider like a normal year. Like my farming career has been I've had like record-setting temperatures like in the 4 different places I farmed, 5 different places I farmed. I've had record-setting years, like a top 5 dry hot year in like 3 of those 5 locations. I've had record-setting wet years in 3 or 5 of those locations. One of those locations, two years in a row. So like this year's like, yeah, it's weedy. It's not great, but yeah.
It's giving you a vacation.
It does like, oh yeah, perspective.
Total perspective, that's for sure.
Perspective.
I guess we're a little spoiled then, Joe.
Yeah. Well, we had that
spoiled.
4 weeks, which were absolutely disgusting. But
Yeah, those were terrible. Those were
now
terrible.
it's kind of gone like we got dry, then we got wet, and then we're kind of dry again, and now it looks like we're gonna get wet again. And it's,
well, I'm hoping we kind of need it. It's a little too dry out here, that's for sure.
It's a little dry, but I'm trying to get carrots and beets germinated. I don't necessarily need the downfall.
No, I agree, but we still need a little water.
We do need some water. Irrigation goes a long ways, but you need that water, and
it does.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had forgot about. Is, you know, when we start getting dry this time of year, potassium buildup happens.
Oh,
so
I didn't think of that at all.
I completely forgot. It was in my notes. I forgot.
Okay, and what do you mean by lookup?
It becomes unavailable in the soil. So it's in the soil, and it's usually in a plant available form when on like normal moisture conditions. But
is it because it's too dry?
Yeah, when it gets dry, the potassium moves from an available form to an unavailable form.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it needs moisture
to stay
to be available.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you get a drought year, a lot of times you'll have potassium deficiencies.
Is that only is that the only deficiency that happens with the dryness the most, or is that how potassium gets affected?
Other oddballs can shape up, but it's potassium is kind of like the key one that you see.
It's one of the most important ones.
It is super important because that's where your flavor comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Flavor and color.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, side tangent there.
Well, no, we needed that one because that's something that I didn't know. I didn't understand the term lockup either. So super helpful.
Boring chemistry you don't want to know about. But
actually, I find it interesting because I'm a little bit of a nerd. Yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit.
Should have put this live with 2 nerds.
Totally. I love it.
So, all right, Karen, how about we wrap up here
today?
That's
good. This was great. I hope you all enjoy us.
Yeah, thanks for everybody that's tuned in and listened. Thanks to everybody that tunes in on a later date and time. Karen, thanks for joining the show today.
Thank you for asking me, Joe. This was really fun. Love collaborating here with you.
So. You did a bunch of prep work. Like, you did lots of work. I really appreciate it. So,
what prep work that I did? I just was here for you.
You did? You did plenty of prep work. It's all good. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again. Thank you, Karen, so much.
Thank you for the work you do, Joe. This is great.
You're very much welcome. And Luke and I will be back on September 9th, same time, same place. If you'd like to join the show, you can always hop in, drop us a note. I'm always looking for places to go. We've just been hanging out at CAF because it's convenient, but we can go other places and still be mobile. And then, of course, this podcast was supported in part by the USDA Ag Marketing Service Transition to Organic Partnership Program. Boy, that's a mouthful. And the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture. We'll talk to everybody again soon. Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Oh, this is fun.